What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I'm back with another rant, and I find it harder and harder to go on and make videos without addressing some of the bullshit in boxing. Now, Adrien Broner, he's going to be back. AB, you know, man, September 6th. Who is he fighting? Who I told you he was going to be fighting. Emmanuel Taylor. He's fighting in his hometown, Cincinnati, Ohio. They're going to get the opportunity to see AB in action. It's a bullshit fight. Like, I don't have much of a filter. I can't just hold back and sugarcoat it and make it sound like this is some great fight. This is some bullshit. I've had a channel for long enough. I've talked to enough of you guys. I've talked to my boxing network goes beyond YouTube. I talk to people on Twitter, Instagram, in my personal life. You know what I'm saying? I talk to fighters, trainers. Nobody's asking for this bullshit. No one's asking for the Emmanuel Taylor fight. And I don't know what it is, but you get guys who are more of a flash in the pan. And I'm not trying to discredit those guys because boxing is a grueling sport. You have to come up and, build a name for yourself, build your brand. And they have these sudden wins, and all of a sudden that catapults them into a fight that shouldn't be happening. Josecito Lopez broke Victor Ortiz's jaw. Dun dun dun. Then he's fighting Canelo. That fight didn't need to happen. It was a mismatch. He had just moved up to 147. Now he's going up against a big ass 154 pounder, and he fought Josecito Lopez. You've seen what happened in that fight. Danny Garcia, Rod Salka, another bullshit fight. Chris Algieri, same kind of setup. Chris Algieri had a tough time with Ruslan Provodnikov. Nearly stopped in the first round, showed tenacity. Now he's fighting Manny Pacquiao. And you got Adrien Broner and Emmanuel Taylor, and he's coming off of a Kareem Mayfield win. And keep in mind, Kareem Mayfield, that's the homie, but he was off of a loss to Thomas Delorme. And now all of a sudden this gets you Adrien Broner. No. And what makes it worse, what makes it tenfold, is Adrien Broner's mouth. He has a motor mouth. You can't go from calling out Manny Pacquiao, calling out Juan Manuel Marquez, calling out Robert Guerrero, saying you'll be the first person to give Floyd his loss and you don't want to have to do that, to I beat the fuck out of a Mexican. You can't talk the type of shit that Adrien Broner talks and be fighting Emmanuel Taylor. Like, nobody wants to see it. And I'm not discrediting any fighter. If you lace him up, you have my respect for doing that. But Emmanuel Taylor needs to come into his own. Kareem Mayfield, that was a solid win for you. Now you build from that. Not you get an Adrien Broner. And I'm not even saying this can't be a competitive fight because this is boxing. Anyone that steps in the ring, two professionals, yeah, he could trouble Broner. That doesn't make it a good fight. There's a lot of fights where it could be a good fight, you know what I'm saying, if the person has the right game plan. But does that mean this fight needs to be happening? No, absolutely. Now you got this man, John Molina Jr., down your throat, hiring people to rap and make diss records about you. You're a rapper yourself and a fighter, and you talk shit, and your handlers, your team, put you in front of Emmanuel Taylor, a fighter that we didn't even ask for. Again, John Molina is dissing you, making diss records about you, and he just came off a loss. You want a tune-up. Stylistically, that should be a tune-up because you're the closest thing to Floyd. But you're not going to go in there with the lethal puncher, even though from a boxing standpoint, and John Molina's my dude, from a boxing perspective, John Molina, his style is more of a brawler type. So you should excel. Why don't you fight John Molina Jr.? He dissed you. You have the backstory. And stylistically, you're supposed to be a good boxer and the closest thing to Floyd. You should have an easy time with that. Floyd does with the standard brawler. You know what I mean? He showed you time and time again he can beat that type of style. So if you're the closest thing to him, why not fight John Molina? Instead of having Lucas Matisse on the same fucking card, why don't you fight Lucas Matisse? I know Lucas didn't turn down the fight. Lucas has been in there with Zab Judah when he was relatively unknown and gave him a run for his money. He's been in there with Devin Alexander, Danny Garcia at Danny Garcia's highest point. You know what I mean? Danny Garcia had several credible wins, Amir Khan, Zab Judah, and the Eric Morales wins. So I highly doubt that Matisse is afraid of Broner. You know what I mean? They're both with Al Heyman. And it's just some more boxing bullshit, that Al Heyman matchmaking. Nobody wants this fight. I don't want to see Adrien Broner versus Emmanuel Taylor. Fuck, I'd rather see Adrien Broner versus Emmanuel Lewis. For those of you guys that know, Emmanuel Lewis is fucking Webster and shit. And I'd rather see that, man. Emmanuel Lewis has a bigger name than Emmanuel Taylor. And it's not about just who has the biggest name. It's about the things, the kinks in Broner's armor. I want to see him in there with someone at least with that similar style. Emmanuel Taylor doesn't bring that much power. So even if Broner steamrolls Emmanuel Taylor, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to really prove to me what I need to know. I want to see if somebody post Maidana can reduplicate what Maidana did. Because if you have power, if you can crack like a Lucas Matisse, and you've seen the Maidana fight, and I know Lucas Matisse has because that's his fellow countryman from Argentina, then I want to see somebody with that similar style, you know what I mean? Someone who can crack, someone who has power, and if they try to pile it on Broner, what has he learned? Emmanuel Taylor is not going to answer those questions for me. Either he's going to make him look sloppy by outboxing him, and that's it, or Broner's going to win. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a bullshit card, and I'm getting sick of it, frankly. First, you have Danny Garcia, Rod Salka. Nobody wanted that fight. That whole card has names on it, but the names aren't fighting the right people. You could have had Danny Garcia and Lamont Peterson, but no, you have to have them fighting separate random fighters from Brad Pitt's Fight Club. I want you to hit me as hard as you can. Nobody wants to see this, man. And I'm getting sick of this fucking matchmaking, man. It's just retarded. Broner versus Emmanuel Taylor fighting on the same card with Andre Berto, fighting in the same card as Lucas Matisse, yet none of the big names are romping and mixing it up together. It makes no sense. It's almost like a spit in the face. Like Al Heyman is looking at the boxing fan like, yo, I'm putting all of your favorite fighters on the same card. But guess what? You know what else? They're not fighting each other. How you love them apples. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. Because you're putting all this star power versus bums and like people we don't care to see them fight. And again, I'm not disrespecting Emmanuel Taylor. He might do, this is boxing. He might have this opportunity and make the most of it and really exploit some of Broner's like flaws and vulnerabilities. But overall, it's not a match that people want to see. And again, Broner makes it way worse for himself because he talks a gang of shit, and now you're fighting Emmanuel Taylor. And then Broner's the type of person that he talks and he makes matters worse. Like I feel like Broner would get locked up. He's like the dumb type of motherfucker who will post like rob a bank and then post like the money in the what they stole on the internet on Instagram or some shit, and then get caught and have the police knocking at his door. Like that's what Broner reminds me of, because he makes stupid ass comments. He said something like Emmanuel Taylor is not ready to solve this problem or some bullshit. Like, you dummy, you're fighting somebody who's an underdog that the fans don't care about, that no one wants to see you fight. And you're fighting basically a cherry-picked opponent in a stacked division. You fight at two divisions with a lot of dangerous fighters, 140, and you fought at 147 before. A lot of dangerous fighters and talent in that talent pool in those two divisions. And you're taking another soft touch in Emmanuel Taylor. Carlos Molina was supposed to be your soft touch, and you're supposed to be the next thing closest to Floyd. But you're fighting Emmanuel Taylor. And again, you're bragging about it. Like, oh, he's not ready. He can't solve this problem. He might have graduated high school and been in math, but hey, B, he can't solve this. Like, you're basically cherry picking and bragging about a guy can't beat you. Like, that's retarded. I can fucking go to San Francisco, tons of bums, and pick a fight with bums and be like, oh yeah, this hobo can't see me. You know what I mean? He can't see my knuckle game. Like, what is that proving? Talk that shit to Matisse and then back it up, and then I'll respect it. So I'm not happy with this card. I'm not happy with a lot of cards that are coming out in boxing. And again, it's like these promoters, these Heymans, these different people are milking the fucking fans. You guys are cattle. I'm cattle. And we might as well have udders because they just milk us and milk us and milk us. I really don't like this whole card. Like I said, you got talent on the card, but they're not fighting each other. They're all fighting random stiffs and people that need to build their brand more. You know what I mean? Emmanuel Taylor, and a lot of people will be like, oh, Emmanuel Taylor had over 200 amateur fights, man. That's great. I'm not disrespecting Emmanuel Taylor as a fighter, but let him go his own route. Let him build his brand and build his name up to the point where he is fighting, and he's made it, and he's worked his way up to the Broner fights, the upper echelon, if you will. So that's my beef. You got guys who, like, what has he done in the sport? If Emmanuel Taylor was so great, and let the diehard Broner fans or whatever tell it, they'll be like, oh, this is a good ass fight, this could trouble Broner. If it was such a good fucking fight, I've done this channel shit long enough. Why were you not screaming shit about Emmanuel Taylor prior to Kareem Mayfield, prior to the Broner fight? Name one comment that you've left. Show me, copy and paste it, screenshot it. Show me that comment where you were just supporting Emmanuel Taylor, saying, yo, Emmanuel Taylor, he's the next big thing at 140. And I'll eat my hat, you know what I'm saying? Because I know for a fact on several videos, none of you guys ever said anything about Emmanuel Taylor pre-Kareem Mayfield at all. Now all of a sudden you're trying to build this dude up like he's the dude and he's like a credible opponent and this is a great fight. Fuck that. This whole card is bullshit, and they, you know what I'm saying, they need to get all the flyers and print them and fucking burn them. No one wants to see this. Then Lucas Matisse, he's fighting Roberto Massa Ortiz. Like, who the fuck is this? You got a slave owner? Massa? What the fuck is this? You got Django's master and shit. Massa Ortiz. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I don't even know who these cats are, man. Like I said, you got plantation owners and shit fighting Lucas Matisse. And it's disrespectful to the fans, also to the fighters. If Broner's so great, Lucas Matisse is off a win where he had to really work against John Molina Jr. And you're almost robbing him. You're making him backtrack by fighting someone like Roberto Massa Ortiz. And people always want to bring up rankings. Fuck rankings, because at the end of the day, there's alphabet belts. There's a lot of people that, oh, this guy's top 5 though, but there's a lot of sanctioning bodies. There's different ways to get on the rankings. And again, it's just a bullshit card. I don't even know who Andre Berto is fighting, to be honest. I haven't even seen anything on flyers or nothing. So I don't even know who the fuck he's fighting. It looks like a Gary Russell Jr. to be determined, to be announced TBA type motherfucker. So horrible card. Horrible. Al Heyman needs to look at himself in the mirror and slap himself. I don't want to see this. I'm a boxing fan and I report on boxing. So in the grand scheme of things, I might watch it. I might just record it and watch it at my leisure. Trust me, if there's a movie opening up September 6th or the September 5th or some shit that I go on to, you know what I mean, want to go on a date or something, I'll definitely prioritize that. I'm in no rush to watch this card live. I might watch it live, but if something better comes up, then I'll be doing that, because this is some utter bullshit. And the fans really need to stand up. You got Broner versus Emmanuel Taylor. And for the record, Terrence Crawford is shitting on Broner. He's been in the spotlight a lot less time than Broner. He's in a very close division to Adrien Broner, yet he already went to Ricky Burns, He went to Ricky Burns' hometown, dethroned him, got a belt. His very first title defense, he took a vet with dangerous pop and athleticism and speed, and Yuriorkis Gamboa. That was his homecoming fight in front of his fans. And you got Broner's homecoming fight against Emmanuel Taylor. Get the fuck out of here. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Let me know what you think of this fight. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe to the next video. It's Ego, signing off.